are here. We are live. We are making it happen on Wednesday night. How y'all doing? Hope you're good. I'm your girl, Elisa Perifico, your host of the evening. As always, I love hanging out with you guys. And date strategist here, giving you all the goodies about how to date, who to date, where to date, why to date, all the things. And I'm so excited, you guys, because today we are going to talk about how to nail it, your outfit, either online or virtually. Bam, right there. You're going to figure out how to, here I am. Right? No, but seriously, here's what's cool about this. We're going to figure out how you nail an outfit, because if you're anything like me, you don't know how to dress, and it can be really, it can just be a little scary. Like, it can really, if you're not a fashionista, if you just don't know what you're doing, it can be a little scary. And in fact, we made a little list for you to know if you're in the right place. If you're like, should I be watching this? How do I know if I'm even in the right place? Well, number one, you are. If you're dating and you really want to know what your date thinks about you. And I mean this with such sincerity, my love. But the reality is, oh, look at my flyaways here. The reality is, we don't exactly know what our dates think about us, and we could be giving the wrong impression. We might think we look awesome, but we might not be giving that exact impression that we're trying to give there, right? You're in the right place if you're dating and you're not a fashion expert. And that is most of us, also me. And you're also in the right place if you're dating online and you're not sure if your profile's right, any good, if you look any good in it, if you're wearing the right clothes, if you know how to wear clothes. So yes, all these things. So in short, you guys, if you're not a fashion expert and you're dating and you're curious about the people that you're dating, what they think about you and how to go about it and what to wear and how to do it and not to obsess about it, then you're in the right place. But don't worry, you're not going to have to take it from me, because here to help talk about it today is one of my favorite gals of all time, my sister, yes, Miss Kyung Kim. She is going to explain it for us, right? Because if you're anything like me and you don't understand fashion and how it goes together, actually, and all this together, how I look. She's my stylist. She puts me together. She makes sure I look nice and pretty for you all. And she's got the secrets, but she really boils it down into something really simple. And she's going to explain it to you guys today. She's even got references and photos, which is so awesome and so helpful, and really give you guys some easy, quick tips that you can use to either virtually date or in-person date and all those things. But she's going to come later. But before I bring her on, I want to chat with you guys. You know, I like to have my little fireside chats with you about dating. Because if you're here, it's like a couple different things, right? It's like, by this time in the world, you've lost your mind just a little bit. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much meditating you've been doing. I don't care if you're back to your normal work routine. I don't care who you are, right? The world has changed a lot, and the way we see each other has changed a lot, and also the way we date has changed exponentially. So now where you get your first impression is totally different than it was even a year ago. Like, can you imagine? Which was different than even it was 2 years ago and 5 years ago, and so on and so forth. So before we get there, let me ask you a question. First question of the night. Are you dating online? Why or why not? I really want to know the answer to this question, you guys. If you're not dating online, please tell us why, because especially considering there's a pandemic, you fascinate me if you're not dating online. And if it's just because you don't know where to go or what to do, that I understand. And that's why we're here, literally why I have this show, to bring people on and talk about how to fix all these things. So if you don't know how to date online and you want to, then please keep watching, because that's what we do here. And we're going to walk you through it. Okay, second question of the night. I want to ask you guys, if you are dating online, what dating apps and websites do you use and why? Besides the whole, like, it's the latest one, my friend Sally used it, that's fine. Just give me a little bit more. What apps, what sites are really doing it for you? Is it, do you like Hinge's movement? Do you like the selection on Match? Do you like the latest feature on Bumble? Do you have no idea what I'm talking about? Let me know, because these things are important, guys. They matter. And the other thing matters too is all these different sites and apps give you different choices about what you can and can't show. And that's important, right? Another question I have for you guys. This is my favorite. Third question. What do you look for in an online profile? Do you even know, right? Have you ever said it out loud? I mean, obviously you know where your instincts are, where you're sitting there and you're like swiping, you swiping. But no, don't take the fifth. Tell me. Yeah. The reality is, when you have an online profile, someone else has an online profile. What do you look at? Talk to me. Like, and here's the thing, we can't be shy about it, because if we don't know what it is, then we can't figure it out. And if you are guys into girls, or you're girls into guys, girls into girls, guys into guys, I don't care. Where do your eyes go? I need to know. Is it the eyes? Is it the body? Is it the hair? Is it all of it? Do you know? It's a good thing to think about. And that kind of leads me into the next question I have for you guys to really, really think about. Like, so when you look on an online profile, clearly that leads to something else, meaning, like, you guys get where I'm going with this. So what's your biggest disappointment with online dating? And I think what everybody's saying to me, what I hear from you guys day in and day out, you know, just one after the other, is that people don't look like who they are online. Even virtually, it's like, you know, they have these pictures that if you're a dude, I love you, but, you know, you've got, yes, fake profiles, Jeff. Yes, brother, seriously, yes. And this is true for guys and girls, but let's start with the dudes first. Dudes, you've got your pictures up from 1998. Even 2008's been too long. Okay, guys, we need some modern photos. And I get, if you don't have somebody around, you guys do have somebody around just to take a photo of somebody, but luckily, your phone can lean up against a wall and you can take a modern photo, but please don't make it in your bathroom. Please. You don't need a bathroom selfie to do this. And then to Jeff's point too, women, there's a lot of fake bots. You guys hear me talk about this a lot. There's a lot of fakeness happening. But in reality, even with the bots who aren't bots and they're real people, they don't look like that. It's called kitten fishing. It's quite not quite catfishing, where you're literally pretending to be somebody else. But when you mislead who you are online, or you put one too many filters on, or, you know, you just put the wrong photo up, or, you know, and what the guys complain about, which I get, you know, like the women just, you know, they're just photoshopping everything, right? So how do we pick more authentic choices up front and not have to make all these photoshopped decisions later? And so that's really, really something that tonight, especially we talk about clothing, it's like we could just learn to be more honest when we date. You can just put on a shirt, put on some pants, put on your favorite dress, whatever it is, and really just be yourself. And we don't have to do all this fake filtering, fake showing what kind of photo later. And we can really be more of our authentic selves coming together. Our authentic selves coming together. I will never say those words in that sentence again for that reason. Okay, cool. All right. And the last question I have for you, before we bring my favorite gal pal in, who's going to teach us about outfits. I really want you guys to think about this, and I'm going to spend a second on this question. What is keeping you from finding a decent date online? I really want you to think about this for a minute, because I know your immediate reactions like, everybody sucks. I've seen everybody. They're all on those apps. I've seen all the same people. And you're right. Those all are the same people on those apps. So in order for you to meet new people, you do have to diversify yourself a little bit. But I'm asking you this question because there are some very small, simple things you can do to change your dating reality. Because if you're one of those people, and be honest with me, if you are, it's okay if you are, you're in a safe place. If you're one of those people that just complains and you don't really do anything about it, if you're just that complainer, get out of the house. Get out of my house, okay? We don't got time for that. Because here's the reality. You guys hear me talk about this all the time. Your love life, your dating life needs to be as important to you as your job and your health. period. Because if you want it to be real, you want it to go the distance with you want it to go somewhere, you got to give it a seat. Okay, so let's boil that down. Why can't I find a decent date online? Well, maybe because I'm not giving enough effort or expectations enough of a way here. Maybe I need to really think about how much I'm really considering, how much effort I'm really doing. And maybe I'm really putting too much pressure on the apps, too much pressure on the sites to really do the job for me. So what can I do right now for no money and just with some information, make some small changes to make sure that I look good on my profile, and that if I am dating, I don't scare anybody away on a virtual date, and I don't scare anybody away on an in-person date, especially right now. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my girl who's going to explain it a lot better than me. My girl, Kyung. Here she is. Kyung Kim. Girl. There she is. Hey, girl.
Here.
What's up, girl? She's such a sport. I'm like, I know she was like, we were just talking about before she came on, and she, about like how we jive and how we talk, because we're so, Zoom, how weird Zoom is. And she was just laughing at me because I told her I wanted her to grade my outfit, because she dressed me because she's my stylist, and I told her she was allowed to grade me. She was allowed to grade me even if it was a bad grade. And I did realize that I mixed metallics as I was putting this on. I realized that this is actually the wrong.
Not a problem. Wrong. Mixed metals. Totally fine. Totally fine.
Okay, good. Yay. Okay, awesome. I love it.
Plus, the hair, the necklace, the point, all of it.
Well, I owe it to you. No, but seriously, no, I love all the pieces that everything I wear that you have for me. It's amazing. I love it. And I can't wait. I'm so excited today for you to like just bring the normalness to dating and clothing, and also too for the people that don't consider it. I think we far too often like just push fashion on like the women in the gay community to just embrace. But, listen, there are like the guys who really embrace what they like and how to dress and own it. And if they're not considering it, they need to, because everybody's over their high school shirts that they're wearing for sure. Anyway, I'm so pumped. Okay, so let's chat. I'm gonna ask you some questions, and I want you to just give it to us raw. You just tell us your thing, and you show us what you got to show us. But I want to. The first question I really want, and this comes from the guys mainly, but they want to know how women judge their date. That's the first question that they want to ask. So how does that roll in your opinion? What do you think?
There's a lot of different factors that go into women dating men. I think one of the first things that I judge, and that's me personally, obviously everyone has their cues of what they prefer and what they don't, but for me, it's always shoes and fit of the clothes. And then if it's something like you have no control over as a person, it's your smile. I think your smile says a lot about you as a person, but that's out of your hands. That's something that's God-given. You're born with it. When you have a great smile, when you don't have a great smile, if you still smile, it exudes a lot of confidence. But in terms of fashion, shoes and fit are the two biggest things that are kind of, it's innate. You don't even realize you're doing it. You just look and you go, Dad.
I love that. No, that's really, really good. No, but that's good to know, because, okay, so, and that's especially for guys to know who really don't consider like what they're wearing. Because a lot of times guys too, when they get insecure about like their body, they'll wear like a baggier, like they'll wear something really that doesn't fit. But in reality, they'll make themselves look more unattractive, when really, if it was just more fitted, like psychologically, they own it. Yes.
Own the COVID-19. Like, it's fine. Like, everyone's claimed it. It's not just you.
Right.
We've all been there. Own it, exude confidence, and it can do so much for anybody, to be honest with you.
It's serious. I mean, it's not just you. It's like people act like it's the only ones going there. We're all losing our minds. Come on, listen. Yeah. I don't go anywhere without my lashes anymore. So I'm all about it. Okay. I love that. Okay. So that's good to know. Okay. So shoes, that's good to know too, guys. So that means if they're wearing those weird sneakers, they gotta go. You can't wear those weird sneakers on dates.
And I got examples, so don't worry. We're gonna layers. I'm gonna show you examples.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You be the judge. You can see it yourself. Obviously, everything that I say is guidelines or just my opinion. Everyone's different. If dad shoes are what you are, own it. Literally that's the only thing. If you take away anything, own it with confidence, and you can sell anything to anybody. And that other person or the woman will see that confidence that you have in wearing the dad shoes and will say, I'm in it. I'm going to wear some dad shoes myself. So own it is one of the things. But there are some do's and don'ts for the dad shoes. Like don't pair it with cargo shorts.
Right.
I'll just leave it there for now.
Right. Oh my God. No, I know you have all this stuff prepared. I'm like getting ahead because I'm like so excited. But no, I love it. Okay.
I can do.
Perfect. Okay, cool. All right. So let's hop into this. Okay. So what are the big mistakes that guys make when dressing for dates? Talk to me. What's the mistake?
Let me just share my screen a little bit just so we can
okay, cool.
Examples that I was able to pull up.
Okay, cool.
Here we are.
Awesome.
We good? You guys can see that?
Yeah, we can totally open them.
Very handsome men standing here, but there are two huge mistakes happening. Yes. Super major fashion faux pas. And the first one is that example that I was kind of touching upon earlier. The top half looks great for virtual, but as soon as you walk in, there's three things about this that I'm kind of like, ooh, he's definitely going for the more functionality than style right now, because obviously he wants to be comfortable.
Right.
That's all he cares about versus I want to look presentable. Okay. And with that being said, look at the belt, one, the pants and the length, two, and three, and obviously the big red dot is the shoes. And so a lot happening here. I think this is kind of the standard for a lot of men. Don't get me wrong. It really is just because, you might be too busy. You can't afford certain things, or you feel like you see these people on Instagram and are unattainable because you feel like their price points are out of range. But, we're going to touch upon a lot of those things where you don't have to spend the big bucks to look good. It's just what to look for. And most important is your willingness to try new things. Because if you're not willing to try and change, there's no point, because you're just going to be stuck in the same rut when it comes to picking out an outfit. You're just going to always default to the crutch of, I'm comfortable in this. I know I'm comfortable in this, which means I might look good, but that may not always be the case, i.e. example number one. Number two, I think hats are such a huge no-no in a first date. Granted, the actual location of the date. If you're going to a baseball game, you're going to a football game and you want to support and wear, absolutely fine, because it's a sport activity. But let's face it, not a lot of first dates are on cool events like that. Maybe you are. And if you are, 2 thumbs up to you. But I think hats are super kind of like a cop-out, if I can say that.
Yeah.
You're trying to hide something. Either you're trying to hide your eyes, where you're looking, the hair. It hides a lot of your features, and it prevents us as women to really see you for who you are. Because naturally, when someone walks in the door, you want to see the full image. And when you wear a hat, you kind of obstruct it when you go low, or vice versa. If you're wearing it backwards, you just kind of look maybe too young for what your age might be at that point.
Yeah.
So 2 major things that are definitely a big no-no. Everything else kind of falls into place after that. So unless you're a rap star,
right.
If you're going to a baseball game, wear the hat. But if you're not any of those things, or a skater professionally, leave the hat at home the first date. Maybe if you're going on a park date, I'll let it pass. But
yes, I love that. Wait, can I just jump into real fast? No, you're so sweet. I was literally gonna say, if you're wearing a hat, unless you're one of those things, because it just says lazy. It just says lazy. It just does, and it's just like you're too cool, and your date it just makes you feel like a subconscious afterthought. Like it just makes your date feel like a subconscious afterthought. And if that's your intention, then you stay, go away. But like, it's not cool. Okay, cool. I love that. Hilarious.
Yeah, or it could be the complete extreme, and maybe you want to exude a certain, like for women, like when I see a guy show up to a first date, and it's happened to me, I can let you know my first instincts. When he showed up in that hat, to me, it meant, oh, he's too cool for school. Like I'm not gonna vibe with him. What am I supposed to talk to him about him? He might be the complete opposite of my personality, because you're not showing me your true personality. Maybe you had a crazy bad haircut. You dyed your hair blonde and you don't want it blonde.
Right.
I get it. If that's the case, let me know in advance, and maybe wear like a fedora or like a nice top hat, for goodness sake.
A top hat.
But the baseball hat's that's a little much. It's a little
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'd rather see you in anything else but a baseball hat, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. Wear a headband, if anything.
Right. No, that's true too. No, I can rock a headband, but got it. So no baseball caps, no
No.
sneakers with the belts. That if it's not in this setting, this does not. This does not.
No. I mean, okay, so if I were to fix this outfit, how about we go there before we move on to the next question? If
Love
I
it.
were to fix this outfit, I think everything about his look, from the hair to even cuffing the sleeves, totally fine. Give it a little bit more of a casual appeal. But wear maybe fitted jeans. I'm not saying skinny jeans. Please do not think that I'm automatically going to skinny jeans. So wear something that's fitted. A slim cut usually is great. There's also slim boot cuts that have come out in line of everything becoming a little bit more fitted and slimmer. But length is super key. And if you obviously don't have the means to or the time to get it tailored, there are so many tricks that you could do, folding it in so that it's the right length. There's like fashion tape that you could purchase to pretend that it's a lot shorter than it is. But the length is super, super key, especially if you're going to pair it with dad shoes. Make sure at least the length is okay. And if it's dad shoes, maybe get something that's clean, not dirty, run-in hiking shoes that you have in the back of your car that you just threw on and walked in with. If they're like brand new, clean, I'll take it, just because I know the trends right now are a little bit different. But if I had to pick, I would rather see him in maybe just like a nice pair of like lace-up tennis shoes, whether it be black, white, brown, and we'll go into some examples later. But
Cool.
that's kind of the image that's the kind of image I would throw on. And in terms of a belt, either don't wear a belt if you don't have the proper one. It's fine. It's not taboo these days.
Yeah.
Never, please don't wear nylon belts. We're not going
hiking. They still
we're
make
not
those?
Peter Boys from the 90s.
I still make those. Oh my gosh. So funny. Oh my gosh. So funny. Love
Hopefully that
it.
helps a little bit.
Yes, totally. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. I love it. I love it. Awesome. All right. All right. What tips do you have for guys? Oh, wait, did we just do that one? No, those are mistakes. Yeah, let's move on to tips. Go ahead.
So if I were to make any tips, if we go to this next page, this is kind of like what to do, what not to do, maybe a replacement. So on the left, you see a guy with a hoodie. This kind of ties into the whole, if it's not your natural swagger or trend to wear a hoodie, don't wear a hoodie. My tip is, if you want to be more comfortable, let's say you have a coffee date in a park. Let's say you're in Central Park and you want to go meet there, but it's nice and chilly and you don't want to wear a stuffy jacket. You don't want to wear a thin shirt or a t-shirt. Opt out for something more of like a crew neck to the right, just to ensure that it's not too casual. You're not coming off and I don't care about you.
See that.
I'm not serious about this, because that's the kind of impression I would get if you showed up in a hoodie.
Yeah.
But once again, if that's your style and that's your swagger, by all means, I'm not going to say anything against it. But once again, we kind of tap into that category. If you're not a rap star and if you're not a skater or you, any of those. Everyone's a working professional here. So if I offended anyone, I apologize. But just saying.
No, go for it. We're
here.
They need to hear the tough love. That's why they're here. If they've been wearing hoodies for 20 years and they're still single, they need to stop wearing hoodies.
There you go. There you go. Another tip, other way. The perfect example is my fiance. Give you the changes that he's encountered in just a year, to be honest with you. So on the left, that was our actual first date. That is the first date we took, and it was to a theme park. And so naturally, love the man, went in a direction that completely shocked me as well. Thank God I liked him before this first date. But he showed up in cargo shorts that were too big for him. The shirt was perfect, but then he also added cheap sunglasses that were red.
He's got the redness on the side.
So at least I know you know James and it.
It's okay, guys. It's okay. They're engaged. They're engaged, guys. They're getting all good.
We're engaged and due to get married.
They're clear. They're all good. He's there. He's right there. Everybody's good.
Yes, he's here. I'm not talking behind his back. He's nodding at me and laughing. We're good. We're in good places.
We're all good. And clearly, he's a stud muffin. Go ahead.
No, but this is exactly a great example, because this was in March, and then come December, to the right, full circle, he completely changed his image. Granted, this is where that point comes in. You have to be willing to conform, or you have to be willing to change, or you have to be willing and open-minded to new things, because if you're not, you're going to forever stay the left picture. You're not going to be able to kind of move on past the uncomfortable stage of, I've never worn this before, can I pull it off, to now all he wears is what you see on the right side. Like, he even coming to the show was telling me, like, make sure you tell them this. Remember, like, you gotta bring up the point about I wasn't so good, but now it took some time, but now I'm good. And at the end of the day, after 3 years of dating you, what you say is right, and I will conform. So it takes time, and
Good
it takes
man
practice.
right there. There
Most
you
of
go.
all, it takes practice.
It's so true. It is so funny. It's really funny. And I don't know why I didn't think about this, but like,
Yeah.
of course, I've known James for years, and I just never thought about, but it is true. And I think about it, I just thought about, like, every time I see him now, he's just like very stylish. And I just never thought about, like, even down to his yoga clothes, or like very stylish yoga clothes. And like, you know, you're the secret weapon. I love it. You're the secret weapon. Oh my God, so great. Well, great job. Great job as always. Look at him. Amazing.
Yeah. But all I'm saying is there's hope. You know, he's in his 30s too. So there's never a point in time where you can say, I'm a lost cause. It's too late. It's never too late. And it's really just be open. I'm not going to lie to you. James is still very hesitant on certain things where I tell him, maybe you can wear this one a little bit tighter or higher or shorter. He still gives me pushback, but at the end of the day, I take a picture. That's usually the test. I'm like, I'm going to take a picture of you and show it to you, and you'll let me know if you look good or not. And 99.9% of the time, I look good, and he keeps it. So be ready. Be ready. Be ready.
Well, and here's the thing too. Before we jump to the next point, I think you brought up something that's really important: is perspective. The whole reason we don't really think about clothes in the sense of dating is because we think we only really see one perspective, because mirrors are only really available. You know, if we're not doing anything fancy, we don't really have 360 mirrors around us. And so, you know, when you have somebody in your space that can give you that perspective, it's so important, because it really does change those things. And so when you have somebody like you who can do that, it really does change it all the way around and changes everybody looking at you in that way. So I think that's totally awesome. Okay, cool. So, all right, so let's switch it over. I know we're focusing a lot about the guys. Let's focus on the ladies. How do men judge, or ladies or men dating men, whoever, but how do men judge their date? How do they flip it around? What's the difference here?
I think the same thing. Also, obviously, personal preference. I'm always going to preface it like that, and it's guidelines at the end of the day of what I think people are being judged. But I think one of the major first impressions men get of women is definitely how they're put together. I think it literally boils down to like their nails, and I think it boils down to how much makeup you have on, or what little, and also how much clothes you have on versus how little. So it's a little bit different. I think there's a lot of different facets, but I think it still goes down to the same key features. I think it's smile, but also it could be the shoes and the outfit. But I think it's more of like a whole picture versus like one actual category or section that you may hyper focus on. And correct me if I'm wrong, please, opinions, but my perception, I think, is just like the whole picture of how well you're put together versus how much effort you make and how little. I think it's more in that aspect.
Yeah, no, I think, and that's a good point too. Are there places where, and totally tell me if I'm jumping ahead, but are there places, actually, this is mistakes. Actually, that is the next question. I was going to say, are there places that women that they do it worse than others? But let's talk about that. Where do women make the mistakes where they might be drawing the wrong attention when they're not meaning to, or whatever the case is?
I know, absolutely. And I do have some examples. And
yes.
So
yes.
So as you can see, all of these aren't horrible. They're definitely fashion. They're fashion for someone, not for all. I think it's hard in this day and age, especially with Instagram, social media, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever you want to call it, has become such a beast in itself, with so many different ways to look up something that sometimes you're kind of inundated and you can't even hyper focus on what you initially went in there to find. So if I wanted to find an outfit for a first date and you start scrolling, all of the Instagrammers, bloggers, whatever it is, it becomes so clustered with the same things that are not attainable for me that it becomes diluted. To that, I have one key almost phrase that you should keep in mind. I think like less is more, keep it simple is definitely the right way to go for all first date impressions. And if you look at these slides, the left it touches upon a couple things. It's a little bit more risque. It's not the kind of message you ladies would probably want to give off to other ladies, men, vice versa.
Right. Yeah.
Sexy, great, but it's not something like if I were a man and I saw you walk in that way, I would think, ooh, a little out of my range, league, taste, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But if it is, I mean, by all means, I'm not here to judge. You do you. I get it. The middle, I think it's a little intense when you take on too much of the high fashion or fashion in general that kind of is a trend and a phase. And there was a time last year or a couple of years ago where mixing patterns and colors was huge. But in my eyes, I never followed it because it didn't fit me. So if it doesn't fit you, don't feel the pressure to try to conform to something that you know you can't conform to and is not you and to the core, basically. And I feel like no one's kind of perfect. Nothing in that outfit is something I would actually pick to wear, even separated from the cluster. Just being honest. If it's not me and it's not you, don't think that. But then, this is from like a high-end fashion magazine or a post. So clearly people have seen it and followed after it and they do it, but it doesn't necessarily mean you could pull it off because one, if you don't feel confident in it because you feel uncomfortable, you're not, the clothes is basically wearing you, you're not wearing the clothes. And that's super important to remember as well. The last example I have is that's the whole category of influencers right now. They all kind of wear the same things because they get pushed to promote certain things. And right now it's box jackets, dad shoes, bike shorts, and waist bags. And all separated are great, but combined in one is a little much for a first date. So unless you are an influencer, you are a blogger, and you show up to a first date and they already know that with the impression, do it. But for normal, everyday people like you and I, it's a little over the top. Just a little
but
bit.
even still, even again, you're being a sweetie, but even still, it's like, because the first thing I saw was like, the Kardashians started that. I don't know what because my mom, which I love, I saw those with those tube socks and the sneakers. I'm like, yes, I could just go get all my mom's tube socks and rock this look. But the thing is, so it's like, even if you are an influencer, like they don't want to show up on a date like that. Like, show up on a date, be you. Like, are you going to be an influencer in your relationship? Like, are you going to be on all the time? It's like, and then I think to your point, like all these things have in common. It's like, if you're already someone that's going to own this look, then rock out. But I think if anybody's really watching this is generally very confused by fashion in general. So it's like, yes, if you're confused by fashion, this is what she's saying is not something that you'd want to mock after just because you're picking pictures to mock after, because in reality, subliminally, this is just telling the other person you're very confused. You're very confused.
Actually, quite the opposite. You're telling them that you have no individuality because you think you're individualistic, but you're actually just following someone else's trend that a corporation set for them because they were either paid to do so or whatnot. But it doesn't mean you can take certain elements that you like about it. So let's say, for example, dad shoes. Let's say you really love the look of dad shoes.
Yeah.
Don't wear it with bike shorts. Wear it with, maybe some cropped skinny jeans or some culotte pants that kind of go with it, and wear like a simple sweater on top of it. Simplify the look a little bit. Don't go for the full-on box jacket, belt, bike shorts, and shoes. I can't, let's face it, I can't even rock that even if I wanted to, and as much as I probably could try to do my best to try to pull it off, I'm not even going to go there because I know I'm not going to look good. I'm not going to feel confident, so I'm not going to look good naturally. So. Did I lose you? Did I lose you? You guys there? Can you see me? One's still in the slide. Can you check your
Just go back to streamer.
Scroll back to streamer.
Is she there?
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Sorry, I think I lost you guys. Elisa? Technical difficulties.
You want to go back to the streamer account? See if she's in there.
I mean, I'm still there.
Mhm.
No, I think she's gone. I'm still in the show, but
So you don't see her at all.
mm-mm. Oh, I think she's coming back on. Oh, I got you.
That was so crazy. Did you guys did you cut off too?
Yeah, no, I just got you right now.
Okay. Wait, but were you sitting there the whole time? Was I the only one that got cut off?
I think I don't know. I'm still recording. I'm still here, but I
Oh
don't
my
know.
gosh. All right. Well, the power like cut out for a second. Oh my God.
Oh.
That was so crazy. Anyway. All right.
Technical difficulties.
We're
It's all
back.
right.
Obviously,
It
things are
happens.
live. Oh my lordy. Okay, cool. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. Obviously, people were on edge. We were talking about the mistakes that we were making.
The suspense. All right, let me go back to sharing mine. There we are. We're still here.
Yes. Yeah. So the mistakes the ladies were making, and then we were going into mistakes and the tips. Yeah.
Yes. So tips I have for the ladies. I said it once and I'll say it before. Less is always more, especially for the first date. You can start to bring out your creativity and a little bit more of a personality second, third date. But I think the initial, it really is as simple as just, like even if it's just a t-shirt, a nice sweater, cardigan, sweater as in like a nice knit, not a sweater, hoodie, can say a lot about you, especially because if you go back to the what not to do slide again, it's a little bit of a overkill, and I think it makes men think very differently of you and may potentially be so distracted that they don't even see you. Like they don't realize. Yeah, they don't even realize the words coming out of your mouth because they're so hyper focused on everything else happening, whether it be too much makeup, whether it be crazy hair, whether it be such an ostentatiously bright outfit that they can't get their eyes off of it, or vice versa, so much cleavage that they can't take their eyes off your chest. So with that being said, minimalistic monotones are completely safe. Safe is better than being too out there. I think one of the slide that I have on is kind of a perfect, if we're like a day date, especially right now, we're in California, nice sunny weather, heat waves are still on, it's kind of getting colder. It never hurts to just wear, shorts, whether it be a skirt, just a nice blazer. It doesn't have to be oversized or fitted, just what looks good on you that makes you feel good and confident. Once again, don't let the clothes wear you. You need to wear the clothes. You need to shine brighter than what the outfit is, and the outfit is there to accentuate you as a person and your personality that has to basically go with it as well. When in doubt, wear a little black dress. You really can't go wrong. And there's a reason why Coco Chanel created the little black dress. It's because it's a staple. It doesn't matter what you pair with it, whether it be flats, heels, tube socks, and dad shoes, it's gonna look good. And I'm not saying a little black dress that you wear to clubbing. Little black dress that's a little bit more modest. Exactly what Elisa's wearing today is perfect. Beautifully fitted. Little detail of the zipper, but I know for a fact because I got this dress for her. There's a pleat detail that has a little flow to it. She can model for you. Stand up and turn around later. Yeah, exactly. It's the little things. And it's just so simple. And ladies, this is Zara, and it costs maybe $40 if I'm not wrong. So you don't have to break the bank, but when in doubt, when you are, let's say, shopping for a new outfit and you're hesitant on exploring different colors or getting out of your comfort zone, let's say you only wear colors, but you kind of want to mute it down, go with the grays, the navies. They're a great transition color to get you to the black, or vice versa. If you only wear black, totally fine, but add maybe a cardigan piece or even like a shawl or a scarf that's a lighter tone to kind of brighten up your collection, because black also naturally can darken the complexion as well.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know all these
Yeah,
things.
so-
Right. I'm taking notes. I love that. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. That's what I'm here for.
I know. I love it.
I think that's it for the examples that I have. But I mean, if you guys have any questions on it, or if you have questions on it too.
Yeah, no, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I love that. No, I want to. I think the biggest one I think I have is, and I think you mentioned this was like, is there anything that you mentioned in terms of like virtual versus in-person dates? Like what the biggest difference is? Because obviously, like, we're sitting here on a computer screen or we're in person, and but like what would be the biggest takeaways in that regard?
Tips for dressing for virtual. Obviously, I know everyone's done at home, work from home throughout this, unprecedented times, as we like to say. I know the waist up is a thing, but I like to say go the extra step and wear some actual pants, or wear some comfy pants that look like real pants. Lululemon has a great selection of loungewear that you can't even tell that they're loungewear. But if you're going to do a virtual date, get fully dressed, because it helps you it puts you in the mood. It gets you into the mindset that, this is an actual date. This isn't like a work meeting or a friend meeting. This is something I'm really trying to do to impress somebody for a first impression, but also it counts. And let's say you have to get up and do something, at least you're fully dressed. You're not in boxer shorts or leggings just underneath as well too. Which is fine if it's part of your look. So by all means, just make sure it's a long cardigan to cover anything that is too risque.
Yep.
But secondly, I think most important, lighting. Lighting is super, super key, because I know people want to hide in the shadows and darkness because you want to hide the pores and the pimples and whatever it is. Worst, actually, when you shadow your face, it actually shows the features more. So it's better to brighten things around you. I'm not saying go out and buy like a light ring, but just turn on all the lights. Find yourself an angle to where the camera can almost kind of slant down at you, kind of like what our setup is, whether it be stacking books or a box that you have. Because the last thing you also want to do is the whole double chin aspect where you're looking down the whole time. So that's my 2 pro tips for you: lighting and propping your laptop or phone. Don't hold your phone. Prop it on something that's higher than your kind of like your chest or eye level, so that it faces down. So it kind of gives you the good features and the good lighting as well too.
Love it. So many good nuggets in there. Oh my gosh. Everybody hope we get your pencils out. Get your mechanical pencils out. But no, it is good. I love that you said go the extra mile, put some pants on. Mm-hmm. I love that that's a thing in 2020 to measure that you've gone the extra mile if you've put pants on.
Exactly.
It's so true that you're like, oh, I put some pants on for you. It is true. Okay.
You're putting effort into it.
True. It's so true. Okay. All right. So one last question before you jump off, because I think what everybody who's watching anything like this just wants to know, like, okay, cool. They know they need to step up their clothing game. If the ladies want to get some affordable, awesome pieces, like where do you recommend? What are the best places to go?
I would say, we didn't even touch about the mass aspect of it. My favorite 4 go-to spots for affordable pieces is going to be one, Zara. They have literally everything you can ever need. And it's not just for women, it's men and women, and everything in terms of affordability, quality to a certain extent, but also they're fast fashion without being too fast fashion. It's not like the Forever 21 or even the H&M, which is another spot I love to shop to. And I'll tell you a little secret about them. They're fast fashion in a very conservative way, so that there are pieces that are out there, but they blend in a lot of the day-to-day wear pieces that you can just buy for $40, maybe $50. A nice jacket, like a winter coat, I think can go up to maybe 100, but there are some good staple pieces you can get for under 20, which is also great. H&M, side note, if you don't have the capability to invest in a $300 jacket, let's say per se, a sport coat, H&M has an amazing work attire section that is completely affordable. When I first started out in fashion, I literally did all of my shopping at H&M for all the interviews, black blazers, skirts, pants, blouses, you name it, H&M, even down to the shoes to a certain extent. Now you can't walk a mile in them, unfortunately, but they're affordable. They're $40 where you don't have to worry about breaking the bank, but still look good. And they are fashionable pieces as well too. Although being another one for a little bit more of more towards a higher price point, but a little bit better quality where you could walk a mile in them. And the last one that is more recently coming into play and being more sponsored, unfortunately, Amazon Fashion has a new feature where you can put in the criteria of who you are, what you're looking for, and they mail you a box of pieces they think you might like. You pick out what you like and you send back what you don't like. And that's something that's pretty recent. And they have price ranges from $20 all the way up to a couple hundred as well too, because they have the full range of name brand and non-name brand.
Yeah.
So those are my 4 go-to places right now.
Yeah, no, this makes me so happy. And honestly, I haven't tried Amazon yet, and now I'm going to, obviously, now that you've given it the blessing. But it's sort of like you order everything else from Amazon if you can really figure. And it's so funny because, like, especially if you're not people who don't love shopping, it's like if you can really figure out how to buy your clothes online. Like, I know you haven't done it before, but like your life is about to get a lot easier if you can figure it out. So like, give it a shot. Like they couldn't make it any easier. Like you've just explained it. They made it super easy.
Oh, absolutely.
So helpful. So helpful. You are so helpful. You're always so helpful. You're my clothes guru. I love it. And I love you. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing all this wonderful, wonderful stuff and having you on. You are officially our resident fashion expert, and I can't wait to have you on every season to talk about all the things, especially as the stuff goes. And the next time we have you on, well, I mean, hopefully masks won't be a thing. Hopefully next time you come on, but
hopefully, yeah,
inevitably. But I love you so much, and you're the best. Thank you for chatting with all of us and all that amazing stuff. You're the best. Thank you for making me look amazing and all that good stuff.
Anytime. Thank you. Always here to help. If you have any questions, please send it to Lisa. Maybe we could do this again and some more questions as well too.
Yes, post your questions. We will also post any links that she has. She's all these different amazing things that she does, and then we'll put the latest and greatest that she has to offer below and anything that we have here. And then in the meantime, we'll have her on next time to chat. And you're amazing. Thank you so much, my love. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for having me. Talk to you soon.
Bye, girl. Oh, she's my love. I love it. Awesome. As always, she makes me look amazing because I am not that I don't love. I do like fashion, but it's just it's just not something that comes to me naturally. I spend too much time, I don't know, with my nose and other things. But but it is important though when it comes to dating. That's what we learned, right? We really did learn that whether or not we like to admit it, whether you're into fashion or not, whether you want to, whether you think you judge it or not, subconsciously, it shapes dating. It just shapes whether or not you are gonna be in a relationship with this person. You're gonna make moves. You're gonna do anything. So just take a moment and just give it a little effort. And it's fun. It's like, it works. It's fun. It's cute. It's like you live one life. Enjoy it. Okay, so what are we talking about tonight? So I think the theme here is, you're feeling a little bit lost, whether you're online. And the point is you're here because you're looking for some tools, you're looking for some resources, and you really just want that perspective that we talked about. Because if you are that person that has the same 3 photos that you've had on your online profile, or you have that one photo or the same outfit that you've been rotating, or you are victim to some of those mistakes that Kyung was talking about earlier, you can change them, and they can be easy changes. And they're also impressive changes. Like she even showed you with her fiance, James, like some really small changes. Like he's an incredibly handsome guy, regardless of what kind of clothes he wears. But with those small adjustments, it enhanced him. And so these things happen for all of us. All of us have this potential to really just to be who we want to be to the other person. And that's what clothing becomes on dates is, are you communicating to the other person what you want to look like? Like, are they seeing what you want them to see? And a lot of the times that's not the case. And that's why we have these conversations, because the clothing that we put on is not what the other person thinks. So in what ways can we bring that conversation together? And so in order for us to do that, the question that we need to ask ourselves is, when we're dressing, when we're dating, what's the goal? That's the big question. What is your goal? When you're putting on a shirt, when you're putting on some shoes, when you're putting on a belt, and if you don't have one, you should, because the other person has to look at you. We don't really think about that, right? Like, you get dressed, you put your, you do your hair, you don't, if you're one of the hat people, but you look at yourself in the mirror for a second, but then you don't. You go to the other person and they have to stare at you the whole time. So think of that, right? Like, we want to make sure that they're having a pleasant experience the way you're super picky when you're looking at the other person, right? That's the first thing you do, is you're staring at the other person up and down. Maybe you don't know why you're attracted to them or not, but you're not you're not bringing yourself to that same bar. Doesn't make any sense. So what's our goal? Our goal is to feel confident. Our goal is to, I can't talk tonight. Our goal is to feel confident. Our goal is to wear something comfortable. And our goal is to really make it enhance our experience. Does your clothing really really communicate who you are? Does it continue the conversation, right? Because at this point, you're dating. You don't want to have to be talking about things a lot that you know and that's really innate to who we are. So does your wardrobe just continue the conversation of where you want to go? And generally, the older we are, the more that's true. The younger we are, the more we experiment with different things. And so with that in mind, though, so if we don't know what the goal is, or we do know what the goal is, did that bring you to the next question, which is really, do you know what your real problem is? Do you know what the real problem is here? And which what we talked about, which is perspective, right? So if my thought is, okay, maybe I'm not putting enough effort into my appearance or my clothing or how I'm approaching dating, or maybe I am just being a little bit pretentious in the sense that I'm just hoping things get brought to me. Or if you're sitting there like, Elisa, shut your pie hole. I'm working really, really hard. I buy outfits and I date and I swipe and I do the profiles and I do the things. Don't stop. I'm going to tell you, great job. Good. Keep doing it. This is not a pass-fail thing. And I said this a couple shows ago. People treat dating like pass-fail. And Kyung said it earlier. If you are rocking an outfit, if it is the dad shoes and the blazer and the fanny pack, okay. If that's you, do it. If you're doing it because you don't know what else to do, don't do it. But this is all about perception, how you can own it, and how you can get yourself with somebody that you want to be with. So in order for you to get to be with someone that you want to be with in the long term, you've got to wear stuff. You've got to own stuff that reflects who you want to be. And if you don't know, if that's a lack of identity, right, that Kyung was talking about, then you're going to attract confusing energy. You're going to attract confusing mates, essentially, which is the opposite of what we want. So that being said, the magical question is, what can I do to change this? Yes, we've revealed we're not magical dressers. And please, I'm not here to judge. You guys know this. I don't even dress myself. Like, seriously, I didn't pick this out and I love it. I'm so happy I'm in it. I feel like a princess. I feel amazing in this. So, and I say this, and again, because I'm not a fashionista and I snuff at clothes. I am somebody that has the same gym shorts since high school. Like, literally, I have the same clothes since high school. My husband makes fun of me all the time. I have the same shirts. I don't know. It's like really embarrassing. So if I didn't have amazing people in my life like Kyung to make sure I look good, then I would be wearing my weird gym shirt on this show. So the same goes for all of you guys. It just doesn't mean you should know about fashion. It means you're a grown up and you want to date, and it means you're taking consideration for your next person. So what you can do to change this is, if you want to communicate to somebody that, hey, you give a shit about dating, you want to be in a relationship, you want to fall in love, a really easy way to show that person you have respect for them is to dress up a little bit. Make it look good. And all the tips that Kyung just gave you, which we will find a way to deliver all of these to you. But you can do all those things. Small changes, really affordable places. You got to get clothes anyway. You're buying them anyway. And you can make some small changes already at the prices that you're paying, which is awesome. And then before we hop into one of our members, I want you guys just to remind yourself this, it can be so, I'm just going to remind you with a little quote from one of my, Unfuck Yourself, calendars here. And again, I don't use this for the calendar. Yes, I know it's not January 17th. You don't have to remind me. I like it for the quotes. Okay. And I use it for this, but here, I'm going to show you guys. Negative self-talk can not only put us in a bad mood, it can leave us feeling helpless. It can make small problems seem bigger and even create problems where none existed before. I love this for our outfit conversation because that's where a lot of this leads, okay? So we want your outfit to make you feel amazing. We want it to make you feel like you, so you can be vulnerable, so you can be yourself and make a love connection. That's the whole point. So if you're not going on dates and you're not feeling like $1,000,000 and your clothes has something to do with it, then you need more resources. You need more tools. And that's okay, guys. You're not like programmed to know how to date as a baby. Like, that's not real. You need tools. You need to stay up to it. That makes you an adult. That makes you responsible. That makes you human. And that makes you worthy of dating. So awesome. Okay. So, and you don't have to take it from me. I want you to listen to some of our members who also understand how important resources are and how scarce they are. So check it out. We'll roll that tape. Nice to meet you.
Likewise. Thank you for taking this time out.
Oh my gosh, of course. Are those your kiddos behind you in the picture?
Yeah, that's I got a 9-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old boy.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Where in New York are you?
I'm down by the shore, so I'm actually my spot is primo. I'm about like 4 blocks from the beach.
Yeah.
I have all these clubs around me, but it's like so many youngins around, you know, and I'm like,
everything you just said is exactly the reason that it's frustrating for you, because it's like there's a lot of youngins, and that's not what you're looking for right now. Tell me a little bit more about where you're at with your relationships. Like, when's the last time you were in a relationship? Have you had one recently? Tell me a little bit about it.
yeah, I've been almost about 2 years separated now. You know, no intimacy, no nothing for the past like 18 months.
Okay.
So, you know, so I was closer to my job where I live at now. So that's why I was like, all right, for a new start for me to move down, I see, you know, I still can't find a spark. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, over here.
I'm making you feel real better, like instantly. Ready? So where we lack in relationships is perspective on how actually super duper hard it is for you to actually meet someone that you remotely jive with. There's just not enough information telling people that. So what happens is the adverse is true. Now you think there's something wrong with you because you haven't met somebody, and you're like, wait a minute, why is this so hard? But in reality, it's the opposite. It's super duper hard. Think of anything else, your job, anything, your kids. Like you sift through, you qualify things, you research, you put filters up. But when it comes to love, every movie we have ever seen has told us that you should find this woman in the street and she should like faint and you should catch her, and from a car. Like, what is this garbage? It never happens.
Exactly.
And it's confusing. It's confusing because that doesn't, even if you did that, that doesn't mean she's right for you. I mean, it means you just were a nice guy. You saved somebody on the street. So what we're doing is really bringing all of that energy, all of that mindfulness you bring to the rest of your life, to your job, to your children, to where you live, and we're going to bring it to your relationship.
Exactly.
Look forward to seeing you in the group, love.
All right, thank you.
Cool. All right, nice to meet you.
All right, you too. Likewise. Bye-bye.
Have a good one, honey. Bye. I love him so much. I feel like I say that after every time. These people I talk to, I love them. But I think the theme of the night, guys, before we recap, and I have a poll that I want to ask you. It's about resources. And before we dive into resources, I need you to ask yourself how often you're dating. I need to know. So let's put this poll up for a second. So I want to know, how much time are you spending on dating? On dating in general? Okay, and this includes apps, this includes sites, and I want you to really think about it, and don't just give me like a second answer. Like, don't just give me like a quick an hour a week. Like, really think about it. Like, you have a problem. You've been single for really too long, and we're here to solve it. I'm here to help you solve it. Okay, so let's think about it. Are you a weekly person where you're like, I can fit it in where I can, but it takes the backseat to everything else? Okay, be real. You kind of, it's there, but it's just not on the priority list? Are you the monthly person where you go in spurts or like waves? Where you get in a groove, you'll try to date a little bit, and then you'll stop and you'll just get busy, right? I feel like that's most people where they just go in these crazy spurts. Or are you just never? Are you not dating at all? You're just time goes everywhere. Who are you? A, B, or C? Please pick one. Post below. I want to know. And so that really does nicely recap. And I want to roll it together before we pick out who's winning the free lifetime membership this week for VIP. I want to sum up a couple things because I know we have a whole bunch of new members, a whole bunch of new viewers who are like looking and watching this fun show from all these different places. I'm Elisa Parifico. I'm a date expert. I'm a matchmaker. And I say that because I spent years as a professional matchmaker still watching people struggle to find love. And there's literally no reason for it. It's our biological instinct to be in relationships and to have companions. We just overcomplicate it. So I'm here to decomplicate it for you. That's what we do on the show. And so what I want to reemphasize today is that if you're somebody that doesn't think they need resources to date, you, my friend, are oh so wrong. I love you to death, but even me as a professional, I need references. I need reminders. So if you're in the camp of I'm good, I know what I'm doing, well, then that's likely why you're still single. I'm so sorry. But I want you to think it's okay that you need resources. And there are so many awesome tips and things that you can get. And the where you can get those things is right here in our community. It's free. Come to meetamatchmaker.com. Come into our space. We've got tips and we've got the date pros. Not even just me, but my amazing friends from around the world, around the country who can give you these tips and show you how to do all of these things. Whether you want to meet somebody great in our vetted community, you need resources, you need tips. Or you can utilize one of our dater checks to make sure that you're safe and who you're dating. As always, meetamatchmaker.com. If you want to meet me, you want to talk to me, join our community, meet other vetted singles, or meet matchmakers who can connect you with other vetted singles. And as always, please post your question, post what you want to talk about on this show. This show is for you. It is not for me. I do not care to talk to myself on this show. So please let us know what you want to talk about because we're here to do that. Next week, we're going to have my fake profiles. Yes. Next week. Oh, I love this. Wait, Jeff, they try to get you to send iTunes cards, Amazon cards, and upgrade their phone. Say they can't do video chat. Yes. Jeff, I love that you brought this up. And we're actually going to talk about this next week, but I'm going to talk about this a little bit right now since you brought it up. The fake profile thing is so real, and how you vet your date. There are some simple tips and tricks that you can do to kind of delineate and differentiate a bot from a real person. And a way to do that in 2020 is start to join real communities. So one like that I just mentioned, just go to that site and join us. We're real people, but you're right. There are a lot of these websites that it's just too easy for robots to join and people to fool you. So always ask for a video chat first and foremost. So for the first and foremost, always ask for a video chat. And if they say no, then that's a really, really easy way to delineate or figure out that they're not who they say they are, or use one of our dater checks. Like I said, in our community here, we run dater background checks for our members, for the people that they're dating, so they don't even waste their time on people who are just trying to scam you for money. And we're going to talk even more about that next week with my other twinsy, the other Elisa. We're talking about vetting. So we will see you then. In the meantime, I'm going to pick a winner. And actually, we're giving it to Jeff. Jeff Eagle, you're my dude. I love it. Send it. Jeff, come meet me at meetamatchmaker.com. You've won a free VIP membership, which is so great. So book a time with me, and we'll get you all signed up, which is cool and exciting. Okay, that's all we have all the time we have for this week, y'all. Can't wait to see you next week, and we're going to chat, and I'll see you then, as always. Mwah. See you soon.